last thing, which we saved, not the best for last, but it's a big thing. It's a big deal. I'll say that it's a big deal. Fairy Tale chapter 545, the end, the last chapter of Fairy Tale.
And the chapter's name is Irreplaceable Friends, because what's Fairy Tale without
being But sorry. But so we say this for last because obviously it's the end of a series, a big series at that. Not one of the top 3 like Bleach, Naruto, or One Piece.
But I'd say it's a top 5. It's been top 5 for the last.
It's definitely been very popular in its stream of show.
In the last 11 years of its publication, it's been
that's the word, publication.
Top tier.
But and also it's a 45-page chapter. It's not a lot goes on. That's great, but things do happen, I guess.
If you do read it on one manga stream, the first couple of pages there's some really awesome artwork.
There's some super good artwork.
Natsu's fist, him facing against Zeref. And
there's really good artwork in manga stream. Like I think they take like fan art and they put it in the beginning,
which is legit.
That's another reason.
Again, really check out manga stream. They're legit.
Like once again, we can't shout out enough, dude. It's just a cool website. But so. The chapter begins with Elizabeth accepting an award for a book that she wrote called
The Adventure of Iris.
Which is the guests of the party even like comment like, I heard this book was based off of your adventures. Like, there's no way. But then another group. It's going to be hard to keep up with this, I know, but tries to deal with this.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, she's actually part of a guild called Fairy Tale. They're like, oh.
Everybody knows Fairy Tale. There's no fucking way you don't know Fairy Tale.
And like, they're extra to them because like they're at the party, being Fairy Tale. Like,
it cuts to the entire guild at the party, doing what they do, causing ruckus, drinking, eating,
Gray has his shirt off, Juvia's being thirsty.
Gray strips, Juvia's thirst, Eris is trying to keep everyone in line.
Yeah.
But we'll try to take this, I guess, piece by piece. It's not going to be easy, though. So what happens next, Ben? I got to catch up.
So they're doing that. And then, like, Gray and Natsu face off. They're like, Gray's like, I thought there was going to be formal clothes, Natsu, why are you wearing those rags? And then, like...
Natsu always wears that.
Yeah, and then, like, Gray and Natsu's just like, yeah, well, where are your clothes, fam? And he's like, they're like, you want to go?
Burn. Erza kicks them away from that. And then it's a flashback of Lucy, like, writing her book, it getting published and being, like, a bestseller. And then Miss Anna meets her and talks with her. Yeah, she's still alive, I guess, in this time stream, which is weird because that's Lucy's like great grandmother.
400 years ago,
this woman's old as hell, and she's just like, hey there, and like I don't know how this isn't weird to her.
And like apparently Natsu, because like with the whole like 400 years in the future thing, he apparently had a crush on Miss Anna. It's weird.
She taught. I'm not going to go into detail. If you're listening to this, I hope you've read before this and you'll know what we're talking about with Anna and Natsu. It's her teaching Natsu.
Yeah, so kind of like a schoolboy crush on the teacher kind of thing. Really simple. But then you get
and then even Natsu like knows, he's just like, that's why you smell like Miss Anne.
Yeah.
And she's just like, don't. And Lucy's just like, don't smell me. Stop that. That is weird.
So then you get the next page is about Gajeel and Levy.
Well, the next few pages before that, next few pages it's like literally like all of the couples that have been going on. But yeah, so it begins with Gajeel and Levy have gotten like really close, and it there's a page where like she whispers into Gajeel's ear something. We don't know what it is, but she whispers into it, and even Lucy makes the observation. She's like, I think I heard something about baby.
And then, like, she just gets red-faced and embarrassed. And then you pans over to Wendy. This is kind of funny. Like, she gets red-faced and embarrassed because she heard exactly what they said.
Because since she's a dragon slayer, she has enhanced hearing. So she heard everything.
The implication is that they might have sex. But, we're just going to say that up front.
I don't know. Fairy Tale's very PG.
No, you say that, and then, like, you see some of the things that they wear. And, like,
it's just... It's not PG in the way like they're drawn or they dress or stuff like that, but it's PG in the way they handle relationships.
Yeah, at least the when they're shown. Way they're shown. But like,
I guess it's hard. That's what I hate about this. It's just like, just do it.
Yeah, they're just like I don't know.
Children don't just read this. Mm-hmm. But then it cuts to Wendy and Sherry doing their little idol performance, for the festival. Mm-hmm. And then
Sherry's learning. She's actually learning
how to do magic again because during the war she sacrificed her ability to do magic to become. She had a Hunter x Hunter moment. Actually, thinking about it, we're gone.
Oh yeah,
we're gone.
Like sacrifice everything to use.
He sacrificed like his ability to use his power to become to go to the point in his life where he would be at the very pinnacle of his power. Mm-hmm. So she did that, but she's now learned to use magic because, as we said before this. Nothing bad ever happens in Fairy Tail.
If you're a main character, you
not even a main character. Sherry is not a main character. She's just like she's a protagonist, I guess.
She's affiliated with the main character.
She is affiliated. So
she has that side plot armor kind of thing.
Nothing bad ever happens.
Nothing's final. No death is final.
It's so stupid. So then it cuts to the guild. So we get to Sabretooth, where this isn't even important. It's just dumb little things. So it goes to Sabretooth. Minerva won the eating contest, and it's just a funny few pictures of them all in the table trying to beat them. Then it goes to Blue Pegasus, the guild leader.
Ichia.
Oh, Ichia?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Ichia says it right there. Won the Hoi, or Hunk of the Year, which he then comments, didn't even know that was a thing.
I mean, honestly, look at the dude. Like, is there anyone in the whole entire series more handsome than that guy?
Gray?
I was being sarcastic. Literally, he's the ugliest person ever.
Yeah,
but anyways,
that dude's face, man. And then it cuts to Mermaid's Heel, who is now the cover of Sorcerer's Weekly. Good. Like I said, it's PG, but it's also very not PG. Yeah. It's dumb.
And then Lucy's drinking a little bit. She's getting a little lightheaded.
And then it points to Kana really getting her to drink. And then Juvia, God, I brain farted there. Juvia just strips her. She takes her shirt off, so now she's just in her bra.
And Gildart saying like, "Yo, you shouldn't get young girls drinking that much. You're gonna get them to do something stupid." And then he looks at Juvia's breasts and he says, actually let him drink. And then Kana is slaps her dad over the head. He's like, "Yo, you gross, man."
He's a pervert. But, then it cuts to Gray dragging Juvia away from the party, and she's apologizing for what she's doing. And he notices that she still has the scar on her side, same as Gray, and he makes a comment, Wendy knows healing magic, you could have went to her to get a room. She's just like, I don't want to get rid of it. It reminds me of the time you and me had. So it's just a cute moment, They're like the most couple of the entire story. Like they've at least announced, we kind of like each other. But once again, Grace just whatever, I don't really like it. She's like, but you want to go home?
Yeah, and then Wendy
hears some other things, and like I said, I'm sure it has something to do with you want to go home.
Yeah.
So
more implications about some things,
And then back to the couples, we get Elfman and Eva. He's doing his whole true man thing, and she's not as embarrassed to be around him as she used to be. I guess because now the cat's out of the bag with that. And then Laxus.
Your boy Laxus.
Laxus is the boy, the player. We don't even know who he likes. Maybe he likes Mira, Lisana, or Kana. I don't even know.
Player.
Don't even know, bro. It doesn't even confirm it at all. So she's just like, the boy's a player, so that's some nervous. And then we get to Erza's relationship with Jalal, which is the most detailed out of all that we've seen so far.
Yeah.
It's a lot of text to go through. We're not going to go through it all, but it's kind of they've been through so much. Jalal and his Dark Guild, which now it's just a guild, gets
wait, I want to I think something we skipped over whenever we were going over this is
so much, dude. We probably
did. The King of Fiore, stepped down as king, and then his daughter.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
I didn't even see that.
Yeah, he stepped down his daughter, and his daughter took the throne, and she was opening up relations with Alvarez because Alvarez has obviously been under the guidance of Zareth, and they're
now
way
she's
more
trying
advanced.
to. Well, it depends because they lost all of their really strongest mages during the war. They're not all dead, but they lost God Serena again. Well, actually,
God Serena came from Fiora, so it was a little bit of
God Serena is dead because he was brought back to life by that guy who I just thought about that. Who we never got to figure out what his deal was.
Oh yeah,
because Eileen. What was her name? Irene, was able to control him with just her voice. So it's what was his... I just thought about that. There's some things that weren't discussed, which I'm now kind of upset about. Thanks, Ben.
You're welcome. That's what I'm here for.
So, back to the story. Jalal is pardoned by the queen now, so of his crimes, but he goes off somewhere else. I'm assuming with his wife, because he's married to the pink-haired girl with the chain connection magic.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they're married.
Huh.
Funny thing. But
okay.
They even I don't know if they're like really really in love. That might have just been because they were together for so long, kind of thing. Because they got married during the time skip when they were gone for like that long.
Yeah,
like 20 years, I think is what it was, or something. I don't know. No, it wasn't 20. It was like 5 years, something. I don't know. But like, so Ares is just like it's complicated. But then it cuts to a cute little moment where Ares is just like, even though I know that he was pardoned, she always does her hair now. Every day, because she used to not do it. She had no interest in doing her hair. She had no interest in guys. She was always just worried about being the strongest. But now with Jalal, she's just like, I want to look pretty in case there's ever a day he comes back.
Yeah.
Next page.
And then we get to the...
We get the boy, the man. I'm just kidding. Makarov, who has literally survived everything with Mez dragging him in from the wheelchair. And he's just like, oh, it's a good occasion. You know, I raised you, Lucy. You know, it's all thanks to me.
And then like some old lady, I don't know what her name is.
That's the healer. That's the doctor girl. The pink-haired one that has like the soul of Wendy's dragon.
That's true. Okay. Yeah.
That's her. I only know because of her hair. It's really badly drawn right there. Like at that moment, that panel is really badly drawn. That says something.
And then she knocks him over the head, and he's like, "Oh!" And then she explains that as a result of what happened back then, whenever he was resurrected
again.
His legs aren't what they used to be, so he's in that wheelchair. But he's still who he is.
Starting to get like a little lower in your voice. You sound like you're just like really trying hard to.
Sorry,
this story, it's sad to see it ending, but at the same time, I'm almost happy to see it go.
So one thing I'm really frustrated about is the fact
one of
the things that I'm really frustrated about is the fact that he is alive. Like
I know. Just
okay.
Bottle it up. Trust me, we got a special thing for the end of this.
Sorry,
trust me.
My bad.
Bottle it up. Okay. So. Continuing with the chapter, it cuts to a cool scene where everyone notices the first guild master Mavis is walking around the party, and they're just like, the first, what is she doing here? Because her and Zareth disappeared at the beginning of the war, and even Zareth shows up. So he picks up a handkerchief that she drops. So we're just like, why are Zareth and Mavis in the story? But it's nothing serious. We find out that actually these are two. It is Zareth and Mavis, but since they rewrote their time, it's now actually like two different people that are called Mio, and Arlios.
Yeah, Mio.
Sorry, these two names are not easy to pronounce for us. So,
but we figured out that Mio, the girl, she's actually with one of the Mavis. She's with one of the publishing companies, and
Zareth's character Arlios is an inspiring writer. He wants to be poet, so that's why he's talking to her. And they kind of have this cute moment together where he's like, by the way, you don't have your shoes. Where are your shoes? And she's just like, I don't know. I must have lost them. And he's just making fun of her. And like just a cute moment. Like it just goes to show, like how fairy tale is. Like no matter what happens, they'll always be together. So they walk off like wanting to have. Arlios is like, Mio, let's go talk somewhere else if you don't mind. Yeah. I'm assuming he's trying to get his book published. The boy's trying to, get in there. Yeah. Everyone sees that. No one pays any mind to it. Even Lucy's just like, it's a cute moment. It's good to see everyone happy. Yeah. And then we just get a bunch of banter between some of the guild members. I don't remember their names. So
Lucy's like, everything's so warm, so her head's swimming. She's drinking a little too much.
I blame Connor, though, for that, since we saw that.
Yeah, she basically
forcing a bottle down her throat. No euphemisms there, but so Lucy wakes up in bed the day after she
she's
wakes
like,
up.
was it all a dream? Was it too good?
The ending, and then we see, of course, Natsu is in her apartment. And she even makes a point like, why are you in my room? Even though he is always in her room. Not anything bad, but
like he's just always in her room.
He always hangs out there. I think he just likes hanging out there.
And then
Happy and Natsu recall the tales of what happened last night, where he brought her home, like piggyback ride her home, changed her out of her clothes into her sleep apparel, and then cuddled with them the whole night away. So, and even Lucy makes the point, she's like, I'm never going to get to be a bride now because of what she did. And she remembers too. And Natsu is like, we're ready. Are you ready for work? Because they still are part of a guild that needs to go do quests and do stuff. And Lucy starts to break down in tears because she recalls, and it's a cool art style. It's very reminiscent of all of Fairy Tail, of all the moments that they've had together. And so she
back to the beginning.
Yeah, and so she like makes the point, and she's just like, well, she's crying. And they like, why are you crying? And she's just like, I'm crying because I'm remembering all the things that we've had, all the experiences. She's just like, without you, and she makes a very good sentimental moment. She's like, without Natsu and Happy, I would have never been who I was, which is absolutely true.
Absolutely true.
Because if you remember from the first episode, she was an inspiring mage who only had like one key for her key magic, her zodiac magic.
Yeah, now she has like all her keys.
So she hugs Natsu. She has him embraced, and Natsu is just like, I've got something I want to say too. And it sets up for this cool...
Oh my gosh. Like, the panels are just perfect. Like, he's right up to her face, grabs her by the shoulder.
They're face to face, basically. He grabs her, like, starts holding her. She even, like, starts closing her eyes because she thinks, like, they're going to kiss. And he just grabs her and starts running, like, we got work to do. Who cares?
Who cares about all that sentimental bullcrap? Let's go. We got stuff to do.
Oh, my God. Just the biggest, friend zone in my life. It hurts my brain. I think about it, and even Lucy's just like, I got all emotional. What do you mean, who cares? And Natsu, like, makes a good point. Just like, it's like, who cares? I mean, we're going to be together forever. It doesn't matter. Like, all these thoughts that you're having, don't worry about it. We're always going to be together. And so he's, like, getting her, like, throwing her around and stuff. Yeah. And they then they finally meet up with Wendy, Gray, and Erza, and I forget Wendy's cat's name.
Wendy's cat's name. Wendy's cat.
That's the name.
It's the last chapter. I don't.
Fair enough. So yeah, they meet up, and it's like they meet up, and they're just like, and Natsu says, we finally got permission. It doesn't tell us what it is the job is yet, and Ares is like, it's time to be off. Yeah. And the next page is then it says that the 100-year quest begins, and Natsu's like, I'm getting fired up,
His catchphrase, yeah.
His whole thing, the 100-year quest. So it's almost like a, the story's over, but is it?
Yeah, kind of thing.
Because they're about to begin a 100-year quest, which what is a 100-year quest?
That's the thing. Like, does it take 100 years? Is it supposed to be like 100 years?
Because Gildart was on a 100-year quest, like when we saw him, like that was his whole thing. Why he wasn't at the guild, because he was on a 100-year quest, but we never knew what it was. It never explained it, so we don't know what it is exactly. And then the next page is it asks a very good question that I always ask when you first hear about fairy tales. Yeah. You're just like, do fairies have tails? Because for those of you listening, you know that the name fairy, the manga is called Fairy Tale, not Tale, but Tail.
Like the thing you get from a monkey or
like a monkey or a dog or a cat. Like animals have tails, and it's like, in fact, do fairies even exist? And it's like, do they? And it's just a cool little thing to think about, Fairy tale. Does it exist? Is it real? But the friends and everyone that you meet in fairy tale are real, It's something like those. You'll always have your friends. They're always real. And the last page is all of the gang, like, walking off into, like, the distance. And some fairy chick. I think it was, the first guild master's friend.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember her name. I'm not going to bother at this point. She's just like, see you later. And that is the end.
So the little thank you note says, thank you for all your love these past 11 years. Looking forward to Mashima Sensei's next work.
I kind of am, but I'm kind of not.
Yeah.
But I will say, man, thank you for 11 years.
That's true.
This was, for what it was, man, it wasn't bad. You are a great artist.
Yes.
I wish you'd stop making stories, and I wish you would just draw.
So, the series has had its share of extremely awesome and extremely hype highs, but extremely...
It has a lot of
depressing and extremely
so for this, since this is the ending, me and Ben decided we wanted to make like a list of what not even a list, just our top favorite and least favorite moments. And I actually want y'all to do this in the comments below. Like, write down what your favorite moment of Fairy Tail was if you've been reading it for a while, and what is your least favorite. Just we want to know.
So Cody, we're going to start off. What is your most favorite moment from Fairy Tail?
Most favorite moment. That's a good English, but my favorite moment of Fairy Tail, I had to think about it because there was a few cool moments, but I think my favorite part that I always look back to was the moment during the Tartarus arc when Gray and Natsu, not Gray with his full demon powers now, and Natsu with his powers defeat the Margear. When he does like the moment where like he's like Gray's been defeated, so he's like dragging Natsu up into the sky. And just like, you have no hope, and Nachi's like, I always believe it because I have my friends, and he just shouts Gray.
Yeah.
And the next panel is like Gray with his demon hunter bow and just shoots him into
that was sick.
I love that entire fight was, I think, my favorite moment. It just looked so cool. Mm-hmm. I love Gray. Gray is my favorite male character of Fairy Tail. That's why I wish he just had more I wish he just had more appearance in the show, in the series, but he is my favorite. That was the coolest moment. It finally showed that Gray could fight on the level of Natsu because he always was inferior to him.
Yeah, I was fighting like the second strongest guy, while Natsu was always getting like the strongest guy. Kind of thing.
And without Gray, I don't think Natsu could have won that fight.
Oh, absolutely not.
It was just, I love that fight. If you just want to go read it, dude, just go read that or watch it. Gray versus, I think it's animated now too, so you could watch that fight. Gray and Natsu versus Margear, not Marjorie. I don't know what I'm saying. Margear. Okay, what's your favorite, Ben?
I'm gonna say that all the action scenes drawn and screenshotted are really awesome. But my absolute favorite moment would have to be Natsu versus Gildarts, because from a storytelling perspective,
during the berry trials, right?
Yeah,
in the
I think this is my favorite because every other fight before that, you always had Natsu coming out on top, or Natsu beating everyone with pure strength, and he thought he could take the same approach with Gildarts, who was an S-rank mage, the strongest mage in Fairy Tail.
He was the strongest mage in Fairy Tail.
Yeah, and you had that, and then you see that Natsu's not having an easy time with him, obviously. Gildarts was breaking everything. It was blocking all of Natsu's attacks, hitting them, and he was showing them that you're not going to beat every one of your opponents with brute force. You have to consider the fact that they might be stronger than you. And my favorite scene is when Gildarts powers up to full strength, and Natsu just and he's come attack me, and Natsu just
he just collapses.
Yeah, he's scared because if he knows if he goes in, that's it. Die. That's it. And it just shows that it shows another element that's added to Natsu's character. Is fear has to be something that drives you forward. You have to know your opponent's going to be stronger than you. That's why you have to train more. You have to understand
your limits.
Exactly.
That was something Natsu never got before.
Yeah, because every time he's I'm going to do this, I'm going to go out, I'm going to beat Laxus, I'm going to beat Hades, I'm going to do all this.
But in his defense, he did.
Yeah, he
always
did
won.
Yeah, and then you meet against Gildarts. I'm going to beat Gildarts the same exact way I beat these guys. No, you're not.
That's a good one. That is a good point. Mm-hmm. I forgot about that. Yeah, that is, I think, the one time we ever saw Natsu just lose. Mm-hmm. And never come back at all. He just
he acknowledged that he lost. That's it.
And even Gildart was you just had bad luck, picking me as your target.
It's you have to learn from this. You have to learn from losses. Losses are an important part of becoming a top tier mage.
Yeah, it's I understand fear. That's how I lost my arm and leg.
Yeah,
it's because I didn't understand fear at the time, and that's why I lost this.
Yeah.
All right, so I want to do my least favorite moment. Right. I know you're gonna love it. you were almost talking about it before this, so I was save it. Right, my least favorite moment was during the last arc of the fight. After Makarov uses fairy law to obliterate all of them, he turns into stone. This nigga comes back. He comes back again, and I'm just what are you doing?
Oh
because just a little backstory. When this was happening, me and Ben kept talking back and forth. Ben was like, "I think Makarov's dead. I think he's really dead.
I really wanted him to stay dead.
There's no way he's not dead." And I was like, "Dude, he's gonna come back." Fairy Tail doesn't let anyone important die. It just doesn't happen. And Ben was
so mad.
And then he came back, and I remember the next day I went into work and I saw Ben.
I was dejected.
And I just looked at Ben and I was just like, "So did you read the chapter?" And he was like, "Don't talk to me about this bullshit."
Oh my god, I was so angry. That was the one moment they had to
it would have progressed the story so well.
Erza would have been the guild leader,
and they brought him back. And I'm just thinking, how did he bring him back? Is Makarov that much of a popular character that they just can't let him die?
No, that's the one dude you need to let die, because he had such an important part in the entire series. He was a guild leader. He was the man. He was the rock of the guild.
His sacrifice was important too. He defeated all of the little guys that were attacking them. They wouldn't have been able to defeat without him.
Exactly, and that sacrifice, it would have been seen as noble if he died, if he stayed dead, if he stayed true to his sacrifice, keeping it as a sacrifice. But he didn't, so it didn't matter, and so that pissed me off.
He I knew you'd like that. It didn't take very long to think about that. I just remember that moment. I was just like, because Macro, this isn't even the first time he's died.
Honestly.
He has come back so many times. This dude has the get out of jail free card, like, ready. Death can't touch him.
It just goes to show the immense plot armor that surrounds every member of Fairy Tail.
Goes to tell you, man.
You can't die. You're never gonna die.
I love Hiroshima Sensei, but dude, you cannot write a story. You can draw better than most people I know, but you cannot. I know high schoolers that could write a better story than that.
And like, it's a call out because we know that like Hiro Mashima can write something extremely good, include death and progress the characters.
Yeah, because to be honest, we've only noticed this after the last 2 arcs of Fairy Tail, which is kind of weird because we started noticing all the bullshit. We were just like, there's no reason to read these or watch these because it's like, we know Natsu's going to win at the end. We know everyone's going to survive. They're going to find some magical power that they didn't have before. It's the DBZ effect.
Kind of thing,
It is the Dragon Ball Z effect. No matter how strong an opponent is, we'll find some weird new power that we didn't know about before that will help us win. But it's just in a much just worse way because at least Dragon Ball Z lets people die.
Yeah, and like the thing that really made me mad about that, like the fact that no one died, is just like, it wasn't set up well. Like, it kind of, like, we made the point where, old girl, I forgot her name, like, she went to everyone in the continents and, like, touched them and linked their power. Like, that wasn't set up.
Like, if you would just have, like, a few panels of her, like, during the fights, like, touching people, or just one panel of her just, like, going through, just, like, touching people and doing that, I would have been like, okay, at least there was there. I don't know how she did everybody, but at least we saw her try. Never saw that. Never saw it. She just approached everywhere. Deus Ex Machina. It's Bleach all over again. Done.
I just thought of something. Yeah. It's a lot like Dragon Ball Z, where she's like, "You're gonna got the power from everyone. We're gonna trap him in this."
They did a spirit bomb.
They did a magical spirit bomb, bro.
They did do a spirit bomb. Holy crap!
So yeah, that got us talking. You stole my least favorite, so I'm gonna come up with another one. You still, because I hated that too. I hated that bullcrap too. Find anyone that reads Fairy Tail, tell me that they didn't hate the fact that no one died. Tell me that, please. Alright, so my least favorite part was Acnologia. Because he could have been so much better. Think about like that, like Hiro Mashima, one of the things that he does very well is he builds up that character's hype super high. Like, you get super high for
the first time we ever saw Acnologia was when he showed up at Fairy Island, and he like, and even Gildart, the strongest mage in like probably the world in Fairy Tail, was like cowering because he was just like, that's the thing I lost my arm and leg to.
Yeah, he like
I couldn't hurt it. All I could do was run.
Like, that's scary, powerful. Like,
that's the first time we ever see him, and every other time we see him, he just wrecks shit.
And then, like, you saw, like, whenever God Serena was fighting the 4 of the 10 Wizard Saints, he was going into hybrid theory mode, fighting off like 6 or 7 different Dragon Lacrimas.
Not even really having to try. He was basically like everything in Fairy Tail one-shotting.
He was going, and then like you get like he's like Acnologia smells that there's a dragon. He goes to him. And like God Serena's like, I'm about to get this. Next panel, he gets one shot. I was like, holy crap!
And just for a little like clarity, he didn't even sneak attack him. He showed up in front of him, just like, I smelled a dragon. God Serena's like, what? You want to take me on? And then one shot, boom, takes out like half of his stomach.
It's like, yes. And then like the next thing you get is Eileen. She transports him to a different look. I was like, okay, so he's gonna save the hyper for later.
Eileen, who was probably the strongest female wizard in all of the world, couldn't even like didn't have magic to hurt him. She could just move him around.
Yeah. So like you get that hype. It's like, yes, this is a dude that I want to look forward to because like the final battle. And like you get Natsu and Zera if they fight off.
Even before that, with him versus Igneel, Igneel is like one of the strongest dragons that we hear about. Yeah, and he's the only one that's able to like so far to go toe to toe.
Yeah, and like he took okay. So I skipped that. My bad. Yeah. So you get their fight, and Igneel does some work. Takes out Acnologia's arm, but like at the cost of his life. Like Acnologia,
like it's like one of those like final clash moments where they just run at each other, and the panel shows like Igneel with Acnologia's arm in his mouth, like I got him, and then the next panel shows like pretty much almost like half of Igneel just gone.
Yeah, it's like there's midsection, like there's no midsection.
Yeah, his midsection is gone. One of his wings is gone,
so
and then he just died.
So the setup was just Logia was just like monster.
Like this guy is so powerful, no one can beat him.
And then like you just like for the last Fairy War, like the Fairy War arc.
You heard this. It's in our last 2 episodes.
Yeah,
go watch
them. You get it, and like you get Logia, like you see his human form, and he's just like he's a monster, and like he's chasing down people, and like he gets split up into his human and dragon form, and like they have to fight the dragon form, and like you get Natsu and the 7 dragons. They're like, we're gonna do this. We're gonna fight this human form.
We're dragon slayers. This is our job to defeat dragons.
And then like Logia is just like looking at them, and is like, what?
He's like, I'm the most powerful dragon of all time. I now have the power of time and space thanks to Zeref. Mm-hmm. What are you going to do against me? And even as the readers, we're just like, actually.
Yeah, what are you gonna do against that?
What are you gonna do?
Nothing. And like he obviously one shots him because they're all still dead tired from the war, and like they're just like absolutely nothing.
All of them like just get broken.
And I was like, this is exactly what you need. Like he's good. Like he's knocked them all down, and then you get Natsu like laughing, like he's laughing in the face of Logia, and I'm just like, oh my.
But his entire thing is like, I'm going to win because I have my friends. I can't die because I have my friends.
That really pissed me off.
And it's just one of those like, I just want something real. I want like an actual like thing that he has. Like I would have been happy if he went into like Blaze Dragon King mode and had like some secret technique that he hadn't been used yet.
Yeah.
Because remember he had that one mode where he was like preparing to defeat Zeref.
Yeah.
I was like, if he would have just broke into that, because he almost defeats Zeref with that. I could almost imagine him at least being able to take Logia on.
Yeah.
With that, and then everyone giving him his power.
Yeah, maybe like do some damage before that, like set up to where like Logia is actually taking some damage, because we made this point in our previous podcast. The only thing Logia has ever been like damaged on is like he took his arm.
It's Igneel taking his left arm.
Mm-hmm. So like you went to the Fairy Island arc. You went through him facing Gildarts, the strongest mage in Fairy Tail, not taking any damage. Fairy Island arc, not taking any damage. Anytime he showed up, Eileen's, he was only able to displace him. Igneel's the only one to take his arm. This entire war, like God Serena did nothing to him.
And then I know. And then just to touch on that, like, in the move that finishes him isn't even like powerful. Like, doesn't cut him apart, doesn't like rip him in half or nothing. It's a fucking punch.
Yeah, he just gets.
It's a fucking punch.
He gets a right across.
He punches this dude out of existence.
He broke him out of existence. I was just like,
it's the dumbest thing. And I apologize if we sound like we're hearkening, but this story. Like, don't get it wrong. I like Fairy Tail. Mm-hmm. I used to really, really like Fairy Tail until, like I said, the last 2 arcs just kind of were like, this bullshit needs to stop. And it's just that the last 2 arcs were so bad.
I think it's just the way that...
The last arc was the worst arc of all.
Yeah.
Just in the setup and just the way it, like, said it is like, we have these 10, like, the strongest wizards of the
Spriggan 12.
The Spriggan 12 that we've never heard of. They're like, these are the strongest mages of a continent that we've never even heard about coming to fight them, and they just didn't live up to the hype. The hype was more than the actual, like...
But, like, if you want to read some good hype, like, the last, like, it got
the last art, dude.
I was like, holy crap. Like, the art was good, and, like, just like the way that they had, like, the single person in the panel, like, 2-page panel, like...
He did the one taboo of writing a story. He talked, he told, but did not show. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to show, not tell.
Exactly.
That's how you write a good story. I would have rather him, like, some random villager been like, oh yeah, I've heard of the Spriggan 12, they're so strong. Because we're like, it's a villager. What the fuck is he gonna know about magic? Mm. And then they're like, oh, they can't be that big of a deal. And they meet one of the 12, and the 12 it just like knocks them out like one after another, and they're just like, holy crap, we gotta do something different to beat these guys.
Exactly.
These guys aren't like what we did, but no.
Like I think he just set himself up too big, and like he
failed
to reach up to the hype.
None of them, except for the old white guy with the beard.
August
is the only one I think that lived up to his hype. All the other ones just did not. They all got one-shotted by some stupid technique. Mm-hmm. August was probably the coolest and best of the Spriggan 12, which makes sense because he was Zeref's son. Mm-hmm. He was his biological son, and like he was the only one. And he died. I don't even remember how he died exactly. It was the dumbest thing how he died. He kind of just gave up.
Yeah, he shouldn't have died. Like he had like he went like the black rage mode kind of thing.
Yeah,
like,
he went like fucking Gear 4th on him basically, and then he just gave up. He just let himself die because he couldn't handle. He had daddy issues. He had serious daddy issues.
Daddy issues killed the strongest mage
in the world. He was confirmed the strongest mage in the world. He knew every basic type of magic you could think of. He knew how to counter and everything. So
yeah, that's what pissed me off.
Yeah, so that is the end of Fairy Tail, like forever. At least unless they talk about the 100-year quest, which, like I said, hope they don't. If they do, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
We'll let you guys know.
And if Hiro does anything, like, I'm sure to keep up. Because, like, the thing is, I don't hate Hiro Mashima as an author. I just hate Fairy Tail's story. Because, like, he's done Rave... Like, I don't know if y'all know this, but he's done Rave Master.
Oh, my God. Rave Master is so... Like, that's why it sucks that Fairy Tail was so bad. Because Rave Master was so good.
Oh,
like,
my gosh.
We haven't talked about this before, but yeah, like, if you're listening to this and you don't even, like, read Fairy Tail, I would almost say don't.
Mm-hmm.
Go read Rave Master. It's not as long as Fairy Tail, but it is so much
good. Like,
better.
the quality is so much higher. Like, the
it's so weird because you're usually supposed to improve upon your old work.
Mm-hmm.
He did not.
Yeah.
He improved on art, but he did not improve on story.
That's true.
He went back.
If he did like the same,
he digressed.
Like the same art style as he did on Fairy Tail with Rave Master, it'd be it'd be top.
Yeah.
Honestly, it'd be top 3.
I will agree with you on that, dude. Rave Master. If y'all don't know, go check it out. So that's
the podcast.
That's the end of this week's podcast.
I am properly pissed off, and I thank you, Cody, for that. I appreciate that.
No, it happens, man. Let us know in the comments once again favorite and least favorite moment of Fairy Tail. Also, one other thing, I know I'm asking a lot of you. Pick whichever one you want. What was your favorite segment of today's show? Let us know down below. Let us know if there's anything we need to improve because we always need to be improving.
Yep.
We love criticism as long as it's constructive. And, I hope to see y'all in the next one.
Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for sticking through. Again, this is Ben.
And Cody.
And we're signing out.
Peace.